Hello and welcome to another video on curriculum management. This video is going to look at creating a new course record. Okay, we got two routes into this. We can go through main menu, curriculum management, course catalog, takes us to the relevant page. Or if we're being good, we go through the correct route, which is curriculum management. Then down the bottom, we've got this curriculum management center. This is a work center, which brings links into lots of pages that are all part of curriculum, rather than you having to sort of go through lots of menus to find them. Okay, so we've got plan data and we've got module data. Okay, and here we have a link to the course catalog. So let's click on that. Let's go through this proper route. Hide that. Okay, add a new value, click add. So it's created a new record. Now I just need to populate it. Okay, I'm going to leave. I've got an effective date here of the 20th of the 11th, 2060. I'm going to leave that. The effective date means when the record is active or available from in the system. And it needs to be the 20th of the 11th, 2016, so we can create other records that are linked to it. Okay, status will stay as active. If we make it inactive, it just means it's no longer available in the system. Let's go to long course title. This is where we put our proper course title in. So I'm going to call this Introduction to Videos. Okay. Now, the description above, this is an additional field. So the long course title, this is limited to 100 characters, okay, which is big enough for pretty much any or the majority of course titles. But I'm going to copy that and paste it into here. This description is 30 characters long. That's the limit. And this description will be seen in certain parts of the system. I'm not sure if it will be seen by students, but certainly by staff. So obviously trying to get a much longer title down into this means we need to think of an appropriate abbreviation. Okay, so that's the description and long course title. Long description, this is what was formerly the summary of content. So this is where you put your description of the module in. So let's put something in here. There we go. Now, moving down, we've got course units. So units basically mean credits. What's the credit value of the course? I'm going into minimum units. Let's put that in. It's populated the rest of them. It's the minimum units one that's the key. These other ones need to be populated. I'm not quite sure what they're used for, but it's the minimum one that must be done. Then we go down to course grading. So I've got my grading basis, and graded basis basically means how is it marked. We got here graded essentially means it's marked out of 1 out of 100, which is what we want. The only other real one we should be using or possibly could use is pass, not pass, so pass, fail. So if it's just a pass, fail, doesn't have a mark, that will need to be selected here. Okay, we don't do anything with this configuration here, that's fine. And then we've got additional module choice. So these ones we're not really using. But here we've got requirement designation. So if we create an enrollment requirement, which is the requisite for a course, we would create it in another part of the system. Let's go and have a quick look at that. This is it here, enrollment requirements. We create it in a record like this. And then we go back, we click on the search, and we select that enrollment requirement. And that attaches these requirements to the course. Equivalence course group, let's see if we've got anything here. Yes, we've got some. So if we've got, say, a course in Malaysia that's equivalent to a course in the UK, we can set up an equivalence here. We can set up a course group which links them together, and then we can attach it to this course. And what that means is if a student goes out to Malaysia, they do a course there, they come back here again. Let's say they did a semester out here and they come back here. The system will see that as an equivalent to a course in their course structure, their program of study, and it will just say what the students met the requirements for that course. Okay, so that's what the equivalences are for. Then we have course attributes. So we've got a range of attributes available, which kind of link back to values we use in Saturn. The main one is availability. So we've got a list of options here. We can add in a course attribute that says it's also available to undergraduates if it's a postgraduate course, available to exchange students, suitable for first year, LBR, only available to undergraduates. Okay, now this information, let's pick one actually, let's pick only available to undergraduates. This information will be available to students when they look at a course, so they can see that as information. It can also be used in our enrollment requirements, can be referenced in our enrollment requirements to say, should we exclude any students who aren't undergraduate students? It could be used in that way as well. But just in here, it's for information purposes. Okay, so other ones we've got, Chinese cultural teaching is a UNNC one. LBR, so it's an LBR module. MPU category, this is a Malaysia compulsory study category. Then we've got Nottingham Advantage Award. Saturn code, so we've added in the Saturn code as a course attribute for all our courses for information. Session availability, so this is if a course is run every year. Every even year and every odd year. Why don't we select that? Okay, so we got those attributes available for use. So we've put all those in. Let's go to our offerings tab. So the concept of offerings, as I think is explained before, an offering is if a module runs twice in a year, say once in autumn semester, one in spring semester, those would be two separate offerings. Each offering contains all the same information from these other tabs, but it's just these fields that can change. So we can change the owner, we can change most importantly when the course runs, okay? And that's really just about it. So I'm just going to run through this. So my course offering number is 1. I've only got one offering at the moment. Academic institution, UON, that's always the same. Academic group is faculty level, so I'm going to choose Faculty of Arts. Subject, I'm going to choose busy. So the subject equates to, a subject has been set up for every really academic org in the system, and the modules, the courses that have been migrated into Saturn have had a subject added on that basis. So I'm going to submit, let's submit chemistry here. Okay, so chem, that basically means the School of Chemistry course. Okay, but that's the subject area. Then I've got my catalogue number. Catalogue number, 4 digits. The first digit is the level, so I'm going to make it a level 1. And then the next ones are it's a sequence. So these are a number that we add in to build up the 4. Doesn't really mean anything, but it's the next one in the sequence. So let's say the last chem level 1 course was 224, then the next one you add in is 225. Okay, so I've done that. And just to show you, let's add a new window. I'm going to go into my work center, module data. There's a query here available here to help you find that latest number. So what's the next catalog number for the level that I'm interested in? So I'm going to put subject in. Let's put busy in. Oh no, let's put chem in. That's one we're looking at. Okay. Let's view results. Okay, so we can see. So these are all dormant courses that have come across. So let's go down here. I can see my ones. I can see the latest one is 1016 for level 1. So now I know actually, let's make that 1017. Okay. Campus, United Kingdom. Academic org, who owns this? Let's put in the School of Chemistry. Yeah. So USC, U means UK, SC School, Chemistry, Chemistry. Okay, undergraduate, offered in autumn. Okay, I'm going to make it approved. Yeah, it has to be approved. If we don't tick, if it stays as pending, you can't do things like schedule classes or create other records from it. Okay, this is all good. We also have to add in split ownership. So this is the administrative owner of the course, but down here is where we put if we've got a 50-50 split, we have to put in those organizations into here. So I'm still going to put chemistry in. And I'm going to put 50%. And let's say the other 50% is owned by physics. Okay, 50%. Now, even if you don't have split ownership, so do I need to put that? Even if you don't have split ownership, it's 100% owned. You still have to populate this split ownership field down here. Otherwise, it's not going to be picked up in reporting, yeah? Because otherwise we'll have some ownership here and some here, just held in this field here. So this always must be populated. Okay. So let's go to our components tab. Okay, so this is where you add in the teaching activities. And this is the options available. Practicum means practical. Okay, well, I'm going to add in a lecture. I'm going to click on auto create. If I click auto create, that means it will when the classes are created, it will automatically create this class for this component, which is what we want. Final exam. Now, this doesn't really do anything. Well, it doesn't do anything, this field, but we have to select a value in it, which is no. Instruction mode, in person. So we've got, again, it's really just for information purposes, and the only time we're going to use it is on placement or on distance learning to differentiate between standard delivery. Attendance type, class meeting, again, that's not really doing a lot, that field, other than for information. Okay, I think we get rid of some of these. I don't think these are really being used, but this is the standard configuration that's been agreed. Okay, so that's good. And then we go up to here, QAA course spec. So these are additional fields that have been added in to enable us to record all the information that we currently hold in the module specs. Okay, so it's the sort of non-standard stuff, or more UK or even Nottingham specific fields. So first of all, we have level. So we've already recorded this in our catalogue number, but we're going to stick it in anyway. Consulted schools, which schools did we have a chat with when working this, agreeing this course? So I'm going to put UDD. I'm going to put UDD, which is Chemical and Environmental Engineering. Okay, so they also taught to that school. So the aims of the course, to learn. Accreditation notes. This is a new field that isn't in Saturn. You're probably not going to use it when you first create the course, but this is where you can add information about any accredited courses and what the accreditation means and any further information. Then we've got our target students. So this is, undergraduates, I don't know, exchange students or whatever the specific target information is. Some of that was already be captured in our course attributes, but this is where you can put free text information to be included in the publication. Summary of content. This field is kind of redundant now and will need to be removed from this page because that information, as we know, will be going in the let's go back into the course catalog. It's going to go into this long description field. So we can ignore that and have it removed. Marketing text. This is a new field, not in Saturn. So this is to record information that external relations can use when they're sort of populating the prospectus. So if we put in standard marketing text as part of the course creation process, and that enables that text is already out. They don't have to go chasing schools for it. Okay. Then we've got web links. So we can add a range of links in here. We can put a description and then put our URL in. Okay, and we can add in multiple rows, clicking on our plus sign. Then we've got learning outcomes. Now these are going to be migrated in from Saturn as one chunk, so just one record. But going forwards, if we want to have, we can create multiple records, different rows for each learning outcome if we want. Okay, so that's perfectly fine. Then we've got activity information. So this is the teaching information. Okay, so we've already put our components in. I just put lecture in. So what's available here should reference the components you've chosen. So you can only add in the components here. You can put a description in for that teaching activity if you want. Then you can put the number of times it appears every week, the duration, and the number of weeks it runs for. And if we do that, it gives us a calculation of the total hours here. And then we've got a field below for putting in general, any additional information for this teaching, for the activity. Then we come down to assessment details. Now again, rather like summary of content, we don't need this anymore because all the assessment information is going to be done in the activity registry. So this one needs to come out as well. I think it was we just put it in initially we didn't really understand what information we'd be able to get out of the activity registry, but it is redundant. And then finally we've got the course role. So this is the conveners and the contributors. So if we put a convener in, and then we've got this huge list of people, staff that are now in campus, and we just have to find the right one. We can search on last name, first name, ID, etc. So let's just put Jill Gillian. Then we save our record. Oh, we've got one missing. What have we got missing? This is a bug that's in the system, though. This won't be a problem when you are using it, but I shall just try to get rid of it for the sake of it, and I don't think it's going to let me. The little what's it? I'm just going to put you on hold for a sec. Right, well, I can't resolve the problem in this field record. I think there's a problem of using other environments where the sort of configuration has not been set up correctly. So we are going to now assume this record is saved properly, and we're going to go into one I prepared earlier. So we can see we've now got a course ID. So we set the course up, and the next thing we need to do is go and create all our other records. There'll be an additional video to talk through this. Once I've finished doing that, so this is like the activity registry, okay, so I'm going to set this record up, okay, so I'm going to set that up and save that. That's my activity registry record. When I've done all that, I'm going to go back into my course catalog record. I'm going to add in a new row. I'm going to set that as the next day. We can't have two effective data rows with the same date, so I'm going to put it down the 27th, 1st of the 11th. I'm going to make it inactive, and I'm going to go and save it. So what this means is I've created my record, course record. I've created all the other records, activity registry, etc. from it. Now I'm adding in a new row, and I'm changing the status to inactive, because if it was active, it will be available for everybody to see. We could create scheduled courses, classes for it, etc. We don't want to do that, so I'm setting it to inactive. And then finally, I'm going to add one further row where I'm going to set it a new effective date of the 1st of the 4th, 2017. I'm going to change the status back to active. And this means on the 1st of April, this course will become active. And that is to enable it to be used in pre-module enrollment. And that's going to be the process we're going to follow. So I save that, and that's it. So I've got my 3 rows, 20th when I created it. I've gone in, I've created all my other additional records. I've added in a new row, 21st. It's become inactive. Okay, so it's not available in the system. And then I've added in a final row, the 1st of the 4th, 2017, and it will become active on this date. And the thing to remember is always make changes to the latest effective data row. Yeah, when you go in, it will show you the latest effective data row. So let's just test that little scenario. I'll go out, go in the course ID, go back. So it's given me the latest effective date. And let's say you want to make some further updates to this record after you've initially created it. They should all be done on this row, because this is the row that will go live. Okay, if you make changes to this row, nobody's going to see those changes because this row exists after it, if that makes sense. You have to update the latest effective data row. Okay, so that covers the creation of a course, use of effective dates in doing that, and we will cover more information on the course in additional videos.